This is ground beef. It is the workhorse of our home butcher shops. It is the final piece to this puzzle on how to save money on meat. What if I told you it was possible to get something that was fresher, higher quality, and actually also saves money? We're gonna do that today, and I'm gonna show you how. Let's go. My name is Brad, and I am the Butcher Wizard. And on this channel, we cut meat, we cook meat, we eat meat. If you're new, you have stumbled into an amazing place in which I will teach you how to save money on meat all the time, which is what we do around here. So stick around, because you're gonna learn something. I promise. For the last few weeks, we have been going to a deep dive into the chuck roll. We did chuck eye steaks, we did Denver steaks, and chuck roasts. And today, we're gonna do the glue that holds it all together, the ground chuck. This is how we're going to save the most money that we can on a chuck roll. Today we make ground chuck. If you've seen any of my butchery videos, you've heard me say, put this in the grind pile, save this for grind. This is where we're going to use all that stuff. So if you've done the other projects, we put them in the plastic bags or in the freezer. It's time to bust them out, and we're gonna make ground beef. This is how butcher shops make a lot of their money, is because they don't throw away the scraps, they grind them into delicious ground beef. You're gonna get a fresher product, you're gonna get a better product. Let's go ahead and get set up for our grind. Are you looking for more of a deep dive into these butchery projects, but don't know where to start? Have you started one of my videos, but then are interrupted halfway through with an ad for something that you don't know what it is or even care about? Well, that's why I made the Primal Cuts Club. It is my private, members-only community where I can coach you on how to break down these cuts of meat. We do so by in-depth tutorials. We have 2 times a month, we have a live Q&A call. It is perfect if you want to connect with other meat eaters and also me. So I'm very excited for you to join us. Go ahead and check out the link in the description or the QR code. If you're watching on TV, go ahead and grab your phone and take a picture of the QR code and go to the website and sign up. I really appreciate it. We will see you in there. When we're talking about grinding, we're gonna need a good meat grinder. This is the one that I have. This is a 500 watt freestanding meat grinder from meatyourmaker.com. This is the entry level one they have on their website. They have like ones that are much more powerful, but this one will get the job done for what we do on a daily basis. So this is one of my favorites. If you don't have one of these, or you don't want to pick one up, and you have like the KitchenAid stand mixer attachment, go ahead and use that in a pinch. It's going to take you a little bit longer. This one's a little more powerful, and that's really the big difference. For today's grind, I'm going to use the chuck that I cut from the chuck roll in the previous video where I did chuck roast. If you haven't checked that one out, please go ahead and go check out all those videos from the series. But I'm going to go ahead and use those pieces of meat for my base of my ground beef. Now, what I like to do is use a 75% base of either chuck, sirloin, or round. That gives a great texture and flavor to your overall ground beef. The other 25% can be used your other steak trimmings, whether you have some from a ribeye project, strip, tenderloin, whatever you have, save all those pieces and use that as your 25% of filler to your ground beef. The reason I like to use the chuck as the base, if I have a choice, is because it has a great proportion of fat to lean. So it has an automatic 80% lean and 20% fat. When seeing those numbers, you'll see in the grocery store, it'll say 80-20 ground beef, 75-25, 90-10. What that means is the bigger number is the percentage of lean in the ground beef, and the smaller number is the percentage of fat. So the higher the percentage of fat, juicier it's going to be when you cook it. When you're grinding your own ground beef, if you want something over that 80-20 with the chuck, you go ahead and you add extra fat from our fat trimmings. If you like a leaner ground beef, start your base with the sirloin or the round, and it's gonna naturally make your grind more lean. Really, the choice is up to you, and that's the best part about doing it yourself. You can make all the customization you want, and you don't have to pay any extra for it. So that's the best part. You're gonna cut your meat into 1-inch cubes, or small enough to fit down the chute of the grinder. Then we're gonna take our meat and our grinding attachments and put them in the freezer. Now, when you're grinding meat, heat is your enemy. So we wanna make sure everything stays really, really cold. We wanna make sure that as we're grinding, that the fat and the lean, as they grind, stay kind of separate. If they heat up, you're gonna get a greasy mess. You wanna make sure that fat renders exactly when you want to, when you throw those hamburgers on the grill or throw them in the pan. That's when we want that fat to render and really season our meat. So make sure everything is super cold. If you can keep everything in the freezer for about 30 or 45 minutes, you're gonna be golden, ready to go. If you're grinding a lot of meat, you may need to clean up and refreeze halfway through. So I pulled all the grinder parts out of the freezer, and we are gonna start with the largest die that we can. So these little plates with the holes in them are called a die. So you wanna start with the biggest one you can, whatever it comes with. Usually they come with two, a large and a small, or a medium and a small. So let's go ahead, you put the large die on there, and then we're gonna run all of our ground beef through the large die, and then again through the small die. So I'll show you how to do this. Let's go. All right, meat popsicle time. We're gonna take the collar off, and then the die just came right with it, so we're just gonna pop that out. We're gonna put the new die, the small die, in. Make sure that there's a little notch down here that lines up. Push it in. The little die in, you're going to go ahead and push that in. Make sure the little notch is hooked up at the bottom, and then go ahead and tighten the collar. Then we're gonna run the ground beef one more time through the small die. So here's our delicious, fresh ground beef. Let's go see if we saved any money, but you know we did. You know we did. Let's go see how much. Remember, if you found this interesting, there is more for you in the Primal Cuts Club. Go ahead and click on the QR code or click in the link in the description to join. I can't wait to see you in there. Let's get back to the butcher math. That's next. Butcher math. I know. It's like an oxymoron, isn't it? Butcher math. I don't know. Let's go see. It is now time for our butcher math segment of this video. All right, so here we go. For this chuck roll, I paid $4.99 per pound at Costco. My favorite place, Costco. Oh yes, Costco. It was 26 pounds. At my local grocery store, 80/20 ground beef was $6.49 per pound. So we saved $1.50 per pound. Now, if I was to take that whole chuck roll and chop it all up and grind it up, 26 pounds, I would have saved $39. Not bad, not bad. I can't fly to Aruba, but if you give me $40, I'm gonna take it. And you fill your freezer with delicious ground beef. If you wanna see how to break down an entire chuck roll, go ahead and click this video right here. For the rest of you, thank you so much for watching. I will see you on the next one. Let's go. Ground beef. Woo! Little Ric Flair action.